Even if you're not into crypto, you probably heard about the Coinbase, the billion-dollar unicorn. And in this video, we're going to create the main Coinbase dashboard from scratch using Figma. So by the end of it, you're going to learn all the nuances in order to understand how to create a dashboard such as the one for this big company. And I also want to remind you that I recently launched a discount on my Figma course, so feel free to check it out in the link in the description. But now without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Alright, so we're back in Figma, and the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to select a frame. We're going to select this very first one under desktop. So we have our 1440 pixels of width frame, and we're going to double click on the frame itself. We're going to rename it to 1. So at this point, we need to create the very first side menu, which is a staple in the Coinbase interface. And let's make it completely white. Let's add a stroke so that we can actually see what's going on. So at this point, my recommendation would be to simply use the line tool and create a line which goes all the way to the right side of this side menu. Ideally, you can also create the line immediately. It doesn't really change all that much. But I just wanted to proceed this way, and let's go ahead, let's create a line on the very top, and let's just make it go like this. We're going to make these two lines, or actually now I remember the reason why I created the rectangle in the first place, and that is because the Coinbase interface does have a background. So we could alternatively just create a rectangle for this light blue background, or we could create two rectangles for the white space above. Now I'm probably going to go with the first option. In this case, usually I would do the opposite, but let's mix things just a little bit. And let's create a background around these lines. All right, now at this point, I'll need to change the opacity of these two lines in order to make them a little bit lighter. And what I'm noticing is that this background right here is extremely similar to the one in the Figma document. So I can do two things. First one is to change the background in the Figma document, or simply I'm going to go and add an effect, which is going to be a drop shadow, add just a little bit of blur, maybe the Y position is going to be a little bit below, and I'm going to make it lighter. Also going to round up the corner just a little bit, just to get that user-friendly feeling to this interface. And here we go. All right, I'm going to lock this layer into position so that we can easily move around. And I'm going to do the same also for these two lines. Now at this point, what I need is the Coinbase logo. So I'm going to go on Google, write in Coinbase logo. And as you can see, I'm going to find a bunch right away. This one is 2560 pixels, so it's plenty of resolution. I'm going to go and do copy image. Going to make it smaller, bring it all the way here, and here we have it. All right, the very next thing is we're going to create the main menus, and I have it in Italian, guys, because I simply have registered in Italian, so I'm using the Italian menus. You can use, of course, the English ones, but I'm just going to write it in Italian. Maybe a good way for you guys to learn some Italian along the lines. All right, so let's make this one gray. I'm also going to add maybe like different icons. Can't really add the exact same ones because don't really have access to their icons library. So just something to keep in mind that this is kind of like a freestyle if you wish. And let's go ahead. Let's create a duplicate just a few times. It's going to be the transactions. Actually, let's just translate it to English. It's going to be easy. I'm not sure if it's going to be exactly the same, but I mean, we're freestyling with this, so it's all good. It's going to be for you section. Have the notifications. Invite friends. And send a gift. All right, now let's start adding the different icons, and I'm going to use Nucleo icons in order to do that. You can find Nucleo icons by simply Googling Nucleo icons, and it should be pretty easy to find. You should find it right away. So I'm looking for a pie chart around those lines, and then something with an arrow that goes up. And again, we won't have access to the exact same icons that they're using, but we're going to do our best to try and find some similar ones. As you can see, we're actually getting close. Like overall, I'm finding icons which aren't too dissimilar from the original. So that's good. Yeah, invite, maybe add friends. We'll simply go with the plus, and then this last one is going to be easy. We're going to have a gift of some sorts. So let's go with this one. All right. Now, one thing that I like to do with the icons, once I kind of like figure out the high level over here, is to ungroup them, lock the proportions, and then just try to make them smaller overall. Bring these ones here below. And again, try to distribute them vertically. Oh, we're missing this guy. Where would we go without the pie chart? All right, so let's select all of these. Let's bring them here. And I would say this is looking pretty good. Now we're going to try and like manually adjust them slightly so that they fit perfectly inside and they're of the right proportions and stuff. All right, so we have our basic side menu. Now what we need is a tag. It's going to be 4 USD. Let's make it just a little bit smaller. We're going to use a rectangle right here, bring it below, all the way here, blue. Let's make it 10%. And let's add just a little bit of a corner radius. Let's bring it right here. And we're pretty much set with this part of the side menu. Now let's go ahead and let's add some buttons. So first of all, let's duplicate this. We're going to need to, first of all, bring this one all the way up. And then we're going to make this one bigger, since it's the title of this section. So right here, buy, sell. I'm gonna make it white. And let's make them just a little bit smaller. Let's add some rounded corners to it. Let's make it even just a little bit smaller as well. And here we go. All right, and at this point we're going to create the second button, which is going to be this one right here, and we're going to make it white. Let's add a stroke, which is going to be this one here. Send and receive, and we're going to simply change this one over here. Let's add a line. Let's bring it more on the right. And now let's go back to Nucleo icons. And we're going to find a icon for the user avatar. Let's go with something like that. Let's bring it right here. And let's make it a lighter gray. Actually, let's grab this hue over here. I'm going to make it a bit darker. And that'll do. Let's bring it more on the right. One on the top. And here we go. All right. Now at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to create the main sections of the app. So we're going to essentially create the graph. And then below that, we're going to have the different coins. So let's make this white. Let's add a stroke, which is going to have the same color as the one above. Let's add a little bit of a rounded corner to the mix. Let's make the section a little bit higher, because as we're going to see in just a minute, it's going to help us. And let's bring this one all the way up. Probably I will need to duplicate this, but for the time being, let's just create another section here on the top, which is going to be, and I'm actually wondering if I don't want to simply like go with a full width design. Probably Yeah, probably not. Let's just keep the original. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to simply click, select this one like that. Bring this one here, match the height. So here we're 16, here we're 16 as well now. Let's simply lock this into position. Now we're going to copy the style by using Shift Command C and then Shift Command V. Here we're going to say your wallet, and here we're going to add a fat figure. Since who doesn't want to become a Bitcoin millionaire these days? So yeah, let's just pretend it's Figma. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're going to have 1 hour. Going to write a few different elements for the main menu. Here we have months, 1 year. We're missing one for all. Let's make it even smaller. And let's select all of these. Let's distribute horizontally. And we pretty much have our base going. So at this point, I'm going to grab this line that we created previously. Going to unlock it, bring it all the way here. Bring it here as well, and I need to basically bring it all the way to the top, otherwise we won't see it. And we're actually wondering if we're making it light. Now light is too light. But instead, what we're gonna do is we're going to make it just a little bit lower in darkness. We're going to duplicate these guys just a few times. All right, let's distribute horizontally. And I think we are pretty much in business. So for the graph, in order to make it easier on myself, I'm actually going to take a quick screenshot from my Coinbase account. And then simply going to translate this into a vector graphic. So how do you do it? Because we definitely don't want to simply click and keep this as an image only. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to have fun and basically select and try to mimic it. I'm going to go through it as fast as I can. They won't bore you guys too much with all of these clicking. But essentially, if you want to create something which is, quite close to the actual reality, this is actually going to be worth the effort, because every time you create graphs, otherwise you're simply like creating arbitrary values, and you know, it's not going to be reflective of the actual reality of things. So, I mean, it is an extra and maybe an too detailed oriented when it comes to to this kind of stuff, but I do feel that it adds to the overall feeling of you know, making this look real. So I think it's worth it. And overall, just continuing with this, it's working pretty well so far. And I mean, there's no two ways around it. Simply have to go ahead and click a lot of times. If there is a shorter way, guys, let me know. I tried plugins, I tried, you know, all sorts of different softwares to create like vector versions of graphs from images, but I just found that like just doing it manually, it's just easier from a real reference point, from a real source. So yeah, just something to keep in mind overall. All right. So we're definitely heading in the right direction here. It's looking pretty good. And I'm also going to show you how to create a graph which isn't doesn't have hard edges, like as we see over here in Coinbase. The actual graph it's not really like prone to having hard edges, and we're going to solve that as well. All right, and we're about to go to the finish line. We have our last points. Let's add this here. Let's do it like that. And we're pretty much ready and settled. All right, click on Ask, and we have our good old graph. Imagine if it crashed right now. Wouldn't that be fun? Probably want to make these calls. So let's make this blue. Let's add a little bit of a stroke since we see that it's not that. And let's make it rounded when it comes to the joints, to the edges. So here we go. All right, of course. And now we're going to simply connect it all the way here. And all the way here, more or less. Yeah. Let's bring it down. And here we have our good old graph. Now at this point, what we still need is the resources below. So let's go ahead. Let's add those. So let's write here resources. Going to bring this here below. Maybe not too much. I'm actually going to add the elements. So I'm going to have the name. We're going to have here the allocation, price, And how is this? Total, I think. Now let's select these guys, distribute horizontal spacing. Let's bring them up just a little bit. And we're going to duplicate this line, bring it below. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and add the actual coins. So if I can still spell Bitcoin. All right, I'm going to have here BTC. Yeah, everything apart from BTC. All right. And before I add the actual coin, I'm actually going to go ahead and add the other values. Let's add like, I don't know, 520. Guys, the math is not going to match with the graph above. Just bear with me on this. I usually do these when I first wake up in the morning, so I'm not that sharp with the math. And the whole reason why we're doing this is not really to make it pixel perfect math-wise. Just that's even something that makes sense. All right. All right, let's bring this one here, this one here. Now we need some icons for the Bitcoin. I'm actually grabbing it from an external resource. And here we go. All right, let's bring it up. And also maybe all of these should be just a bit more on the right, on the left actually. All right. So let's go ahead and let's duplicate this just a little bit. Now let's go ahead and let's write the other values. So we're going to have Ethereum, Shiba Inu, let's add some Dogecoin, some Litecoin, and this won't even be visible. Something else that kind of reminds Bitcoin, Avalanche, I guess. We're just going to make this one, we're gonna hack this one, meaning that just gonna make it a different color. And I want something which is like very red. So yeah, something like that will work. So we're going to hack the the last one. And now let's find the logos for Ethereum. Yeah, this one will work. Let's grab that guy. Going to have it over here. I'm going to, or actually, yeah, let's do it one by one. Center it. Let's grab some Shiba. And we'll need the official one. This is not the official. It's like a dark background. Where is the official one? I guess we'll live with this one. Wow, that's a big Shiba, you know. And here we go. All right, Dogecoin. I'm probably going to change this one with Cardano. It really bothers me that I don't have the official one. Just doesn't look as good in the overall. All right, so is there the actual icon, logo, PNG? Yeah, exactly this one. Then we have our Litecoin. And here we go. Perfect. Let's mix up these values just a bit. And I'm just making numbers up, guys. I'm not going to like start doing the math on these coins, especially since they change so rapidly. And let's make up some of these. Let's change also these values. All right, and we pretty much have it. what we need is just this section on the left, on the right actually. So let's go ahead and let's create it. Send gift. I'm simply going to copy and paste some of this. Send a crypto gift. I'm simply going to copy and paste the text. So this one is going to be in Italian. Small Easter egg for those of you who endured till the last moment. And yeah, I'm actually wondering if anyone is staying so long during these videos. If you are looking or watching this right now, and you managed to get to this point, feel free to comment. And if you did, I'm going to send you, if you want my email, you're gonna have a discount on a course, like a massive discount for being such a loyal watcher. So definitely something that I will be happy to send over. And on any course, so whatever you prefer, really. All right. So we have, I'm going to freestyle on these last two sections. Especially since I have a client call coming up real soon. So yeah, just can't be doing this for much longer. And I really don't like interrupting and then, you know, restarting from the video. I mean, I do it from time to time, but just want to kind of like wrap it up. I think we got the main idea here for sure. Let's bring this more on the right, so we have some more breathing room for the actual design. And here we go. You have our good old Coinbase dashboard design. So really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want to learn more about UI UX design, my channel have over 500 videos on UI UX design. So feel free to check them out, and I'll see you in the very next one.